Right, cracking on. The next presentation we're going to be hearing from is Andrew McGuinness from the Confederation of Passenger Transport, talking about the role of bus and coach in supporting a green recovery. Take it away, Andrew.
Thank you, Mike, and I'll hopefully successfully, oh no, that's my emails. Let's get rid of that. And let's get on with the PowerPoint. So yes, getting a little bit back to earth from the last presentation. My name is Andrew McGuinness. So CPT is the UK trade body for bus and coach operators. In the normal times, and in COVID times as well, actually, the role of bus and coach is incredibly important. So some staggering statistics that in normal times, bus commuters generate £64 billion worth of goods and services per year, and coach tourism contributes 14 billion to the UK economy, which is 10% of the total value of the wider tourism economy. On top of that, there's also the air quality benefits, and as you can see there on the slides, a fully laden bus can take 75 cars off the road or 1 mile of traffic. I'm just going to talk about coach first before I talk more specifically about bus. And coach travel is often underappreciated in its value. Now, I ask you to think, when was the last time you boarded a coach, whether for education, were you on holiday, when may that have been? But the coach industry fulfills various different purposes, from emergency travel all the way through to the day-to-day education and commuters. Coach tourism has been hit significantly through COVID, of course, and through the first lockdown, only 2% of coaches were on the road, and coach operators are typically family-run SME businesses and have fallen by the wayside of most of the support that's been available. The furlough scheme has been very welcome for staff, of course, but for businesses, they've fallen through the cracks, even, and not even being defined as part of the leisure sector for some of the local authority support. We've seen 120 coach businesses already go out of business in the last few months. So in the post-COVID recovery, we're looking for people to support domestic tourism. We can do that through the role of coach. Typically, it's seen as an older demographic, an element of that is true. But ironically, through COVID, when it's been possible to travel, we have seen younger people and families using the benefits and the safety of coach. Now, coach travel is often hindered by a lack of imagination from local authorities and from attractions where the value of the passengers is recognised, but the value of the vehicle necessarily isn't. So that's what I'll be looking for. In terms of buses have operated successfully all the way through COVID, and at one time, I mean, going back to March, during lockdown Mark 1, patronage was 10% of usual levels, and we're now somewhere between 45 and 55% of usual passengers. Operators and local authorities and government have worked fantastically well together in partnership to ensure that bus services continue for key workers, for their children, and for people who need to get out and about in the daily life. We have to get over some of the poor messaging, the clumsy messaging from government, where it's been your civic duty to avoid public transport. There's been various studies done with touch points and air quality on board vehicles, and getting on public transport is actually far safer than going to the pub or going to supermarkets. And that's the point that we need to put across. Operators are following something called the safer travel guidance, and that means reduced capacities, passengers wearing face coverings, and significantly enhanced cleaning and risk assessment. So buses and coaches, and trains as well, are very safe places to be. The issue is as bus use reduces, car use increases. And while we've seen cars increase through the pandemic, that will get even worse if we let that continue. And the point on congestion doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't benefit air quality, it doesn't benefit health, it doesn't benefit the economy. The more we're able to get cars off the road and people onto public transport, and the capacity benefits everybody. And we have a stat where poor journey times cost 160 million potential bus journeys a year, because that can lead to poor reliability. One stat from Newcastle, where I live, one of the main bus operators here in recent times, has had to add 4 buses to one specific service just to maintain the same level of service without any extra passengers. So the more we can do to unlock the economy, the better. In terms of the green bus revolution, our operators have invested £2 billion over the last 5 years, and that will continue. There is challenges, of course, in COVID and coming out of COVID, but we have, as an organisation, put a proposal to government on the leasing model where £1 billion of government support and £1 billion of private finance will ultimately get 4,000 cleaner, more modern buses on the road. So in terms of the future of bus, and I'll keep an eye on time, I've got 1 minute left. I think we all appreciate that 2020 will not be remembered as the year of the bus, but we do, and we still have a vision for the next decade. So what can we do about it? What can we collectively do? Buses are the most efficient use of road space. They need to be supported. We must tackle congestion to get our towns and cities moving. That benefits everybody. We have a climate emergency where low carbon transport has to be a part of the solution and not the problem. Better integration, that's between different modes. That's not always within the gift of operators. There's a role for local authorities and government there. But ultimately, delivering high quality, sustainable public transport is a shared responsibility between all of us. No one partner has a solution, and the solution may even be sitting in this room. And that was everything from me. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew. That was an excellent presentation.